And make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. And y'all see the title, all right? So my last video I just did, I just mentioned about this guy I met, this older dude, his old head. He pretty much was giving me his background story at the time he was getting sentenced to 30 years. Now, within this conversation, I did mention to my last video, we was talking about the joints, you know what I'm saying, the women, you feel me? So, as y'all seen the title, right? So, not to put too much out there, but this hopefully could put a message out there to somebody that might need this, if it's beneficial for them in their situation. So, one of his kids, right? He got a lot of kids, but he mentioned to me about 3 of his children. Now, he got the 3 children that he did mention to me is 2 of his daughters and his son. But we're going to speak on the son, right? So, one of his sons, he's pretty young. I say he's about in his early 20s, right? He's a little disappointed in this. I ain't gonna say a little bit. He's very disappointed in his son. Mainly all his kids to a degree. But hear me out. So, he was saying that, okay, so his son, right? His son, as I mentioned before, was on the right path. He was calling his son a square. And I was laughing, but I was like, yo, like, when I think of square, first of all, I think the terminology of square is just, it's like, I think people kind of, I'm trying to think, like, I think people kind of use that, they kind of take that word out of context. Like, when they think of square, they think of somebody that's not in the streets or not doing illegal shit or whatnot. And in my opinion, I think a square is somebody that's just, they got no type of social life. They got no social skills. That's what I think of when someone is a square, right? So I think sometimes people kind of overdo with the word. But anyway, so he was just pretty much giving me like a background check of his son. So he was saying that his son, you know, going to school, don't really go out at all, don't really have much of a social life. Pretty much what I just stated about squareness. But he, played video games, all that shit, right? So his son wanted to be an engineer, right? So his son I don't even want to reveal what college his son goes to, because I think that's too much information. But he happens to go to school here in this state as in Texas. So he's trying to go to school for engineering. Well, he was going to school for engineering, right? So obviously anybody that knows about the engineering, the field, they make good bread, they make good paper. So his son happens to be in college, right? Again, say what we said about his son. So his son happens to come across this female. This female, where did he meet this female? He met this female on a dating app. The dating app, y'all want to know what the dating app was? The dating app was Tinder. This is all what his pops is telling me. So I started to shake my head. He was shaking his head while he's telling me the story how he met his son's current girlfriend, right? Which is now his BM. So he had mentioned that his son's BM, not to downplay or talk shit about anybody, but he was just saying that the BM, you know, she got a lot of baggage. And when I say by baggage, before I get more into it, I always tell people that, what's the word I'm looking for? I tell people all the time that you never asked to be here. You happen to just be born into a situation, and you know, eventually as you get older, you grow up, you live life. It's ultimately up to you whether you're gonna adapt to your situation and for change, or you're gonna just remain the same within your situation. I don't want to speak too much into it, but I'm talking a whole lot. But anyway, so he told me about his son's baby mother, his BM. She got mad baggage. she got too much going on, and she doesn't really come from a solid upbringing. So it's like her problems now is becoming his son's problem. And he was saying, from what he said, his son was on the right path. He was doing his thing. Once he got caught up with Shorty, it was a wrap. So he fell off. Didn't stop working. Didn't do this. Didn't do that. Shorty pretty much steered him off on the path of where he was destined to go. Now, mind you, he's still young. You know what I'm saying? He's in his early 20s, as his pops mentioned it to me. But it's just a simple fact that his BM kind of just, I always tell people, you are a reflection of your partner. So your partners, y'all are a reflection of one another. So I ain't no relationship guru, but I think it's pretty common sense. Like, you hear that saying, you are the company you keep. It's kind of the same thing when it comes to your relationship with whoever you're dealing with, right? So then let me mention his daughters. So he got one daughter that's his, so he's currently married, right? So he got kids of his own. His current wife got kids of her own. Together, they have 2 kids together, but separately, I think he said he got 2 or 3, and then she got one daughter, which is his stepdaughter. So anyway, both the daughters, his biological daughter and his stepdaughter, right? They have kids. They are in their mid to late 20s. So he was saying that he's disappointed because I think his biological daughter, if I'm not mistaken, right? Don't quote me. His biological daughter, her BD is a bum ass dude. Apparently, she was saying that the nigga, which of the daughters, one of the niggas can't keep a job for his life, right? He said that the nigga been working for 30 jobs in the past 6 years. So y'all do the math. That means homie been working 5 jobs each year. He can't keep a job to save his life. So basically what I'm getting to is the fact that, we adults here at the end of the day. And he mentioned to me too, and I thought this was an important message to put in the video, that he felt that he low-key, and one thing about me, I'm not a parent by any means, right? But I'm never in a position to speak on somebody's parent skills or whatnot. But one thing I will say is that, and he agreed too. I didn't say it. He said he mentioned it to me first before I said it. But when he did his time, he felt that, those times that he missed to raise his kids has definitely played an impact to the decision making they made today. And I was telling him that, unfortunately, especially nowadays with these young bulls and these kids and shit, a lot of it comes from home, man. Everything we learn, everything we do before we get out in the streets, we move what we move, we do what we do, it all comes from home, and your foundation plays a big factor how you gonna pan out later in life. So I was just kind of telling him, not on no disrespectful timing, being respectful with the responses, me and him going back and forth, just having a good conversation. I was like, that just plays a strong factor in, eventually it's gonna catch up to you. But anyway, that was like one of the big message I wanted to put out there in this video, was the fact that, we as kids, we see everything what our parents do, what they say. You know how they always say that you never, what's the word? You never hear them, you see as they do, right? And that's kind of the saying, so with his kids. Basically what I'm saying is, I know I'm saying a whole lot, but basically what I'm saying within this message is the fact that, when it comes to relationships and shit like that, and I don't want to get too much deep into it, but the fact that you got to be careful you pick as a partner, man, because that's going to, later down the line, when shit hits the fan, shit gets really difficult, that's going to really be a true test of who they are when shit hits the fan. But most importantly, you don't really know anybody until you guys go through some shit. There's signs that you're able to pick up, but some people are so blindsided by the signs, the red flags they call it, and it just affects them if it affects them and it kicks them in the ass in the long run. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to throw up in there. Pretty much, you know, the OG felt like he kind of failed. I don't want to say fail's a strong word, but he kind of could have did better as a parent. You can always do better as a parent, but like I said, I ain't a parent. But anyway, I know I said a whole lot, but hopefully y'all enjoy this little story time. I don't even know if I'm gonna put it as a title. I don't even know. I ain't really look at the camera like I should been doing the whole video, but when I talk and I speak, I'm still trying to adjust. I was just all over the place. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm about to go work out. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Keep your notifications up. As I did mention, maybe, I think it was like a week or 2 weeks ago, the last video I did, or a couple of videos I did before, I'm in the process of getting ready to move out to a new apartment. So that's why I haven't really been dropping like heavy content. But just stay locked in. Y'all will be seeing some fire content. Just give it some time. And that's about it, man. All right, I'm gonna catch y'all. Y'all be safe. And I'm out of here, all right? I'm out.